Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 2 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on spontaneity. So, yay for day 2. For day 2, day 2, I sort of ended up babysitting, um, kind of spontaneously. So, I'm counting it as being spontaneous. My kitchen sink clogged up, so I asked some uh, gentlemen from my church to if they knew how to unclog it. And then it was kind of one of those things where they were like, sure, when can we come over? And I was like, okay. And I responded and said, this is when I'm home. And no response back. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll be home until this time. And kind of no response back. And then apparently someone responded right before he came over, and I was on the phone talking to a friend, and I was like, okay. And he brought his 3-year-old with him to unclog my kitchen sink. So we're both, all three of us, standing. Well, myself and his 3-year-old was standing in the kitchen watching him take everything out from underneath the sink and trying to access the pipes and figure out what's going on. And after a while of this, I was finally like, looked at the little 3-year-old because she kept talking to me, and I understood about half of what she was saying. And she would repeat it until I responded back that I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds like fun. Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. So then I was like, you want to go play with some toys? And she's like, yes. So I have this whole cupboard full of stuffed animals and toys and whatever that my kids have outgrown. But it's stuff that I've collected over the years, oddly, probably since high school. People have given me, and so I just, they were sister missionaries several months ago. Were nice and organized them all for me in my little cupboard. Now they're not organized anymore. They're just thrown in my little cupboard because the 3-year-old that pulled everything out and went through all of the stuff. And so we blew bubbles inside my house, and then I mopped it up because it was all sticky on my floor. So I had to mop a section of my floor. So I'm like, I'm sliding all over my sticky floor. This is not cool. So, and then we just played with toys and bouncy balls across the room and whatever. And it was kind of cute because I'm like, at 3 years old, everything she does is spontaneous and random. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. She's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I don't want this. And then it's so funny, so cute. I have these little tiny metal baskets, and one of them's orange and black for Halloween, and the other one is green with little holes in for flowers, and it's had the little bluegrass stuff for Easter. So I'm like, this is an Easter basket and this is a Halloween basket. So she took all of the bluegrass out of the Easter basket, put it in the Halloween basket, and then wanted to pretend to go trick or treating. This is adorable. So it was fun to be kind of spontaneous and to play with a little kid. Again, I haven't done that in a long time. Mine are teenagers. I don't get to play with babies and little kids very much. So it was kind of fun. Kind of interesting, very not expecting that. And I did have a bit of a headache, so I was kind of like, okay, this is not necessarily entirely fun for me, but it was very spontaneous, very kind of off the cuff, and watching the little girl run around and doing all of that, just, and her spontaneity, I was like, this is awesome. I need to just be more spontaneous like this. This is fun. Just like, what can I do with this? What can I do with this? Let's do that. And mixing and matching stuff that doesn't really go together. So I was like, all right, Easter grass and Halloween, okay. And she saw my little Mardi Gras mask things, and she's like, they're Halloween masks. And I'm like, no, they're not. She's like, yeah, they are. And I'm like, okay, but we're not playing with them because they're ceramic and they are very breakable. So I'm like, don't touch. Anyway, but it was fun. So that was my spontaneous, fun little adventure for about an hour. While they fixed the sink. And so, yay, my sink is unplugged. And then, of course, somebody else showed up. The other person I asked showed up, and then they fixed it in 5 minutes. And I'm like, cool, we've been here an hour, and this guy shows up and did it in 5 minutes. I think the other guy did the hard work, and he already had everything taken apart, so it made it easier to just finish the last part of it when the second guy showed up. But the second guy was able to figure out where the clog was at because the first guy couldn't find the clog. So, but anyway, doesn't matter. I don't really care. I was like, I'm happy my sink now runs. I can do my dishes. and it's not going to clog and it's not going to spit water back up at me every time I run the disposal. So I'm like, yay, my sink works. And and I got to have some spontaneous fun and play with a little 3-year-old for an hour. So all in all, it was really good. It was just very unexpected. Not like I said, I didn't know when those guys were coming to fix the sink or if they were coming to fix the sink. And then definitely was not expecting the 3-year-old to come with them. So like that's my spontaneous for the day. It's going to be a little bit tricky, I think, for me to figure out what I'm doing that's just spontaneous and not planned every day. So fun, fabulous stuff. So if you like my random spontaneity things, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and find something fun and spontaneous to do as well.